It is our final segment this morning. Safe Clinic we're talking about. We kind of touched on what they do and the importance of having help out there to counsel and to get rape kits for sexual assault victims. With us is Rachel Freeman. She's the president of Safe Clinic. We also have Pam Cruz, lead sexual assault nurse examiner with Metro General. And let's go next to Ray. He waited through the... Oh, you know what? We just lost Ray. Just hung up. Ray, if you call back, we'll take you. I apologize. They don't always stay with throughout that. Just wanted to touch, since this is our last segment, on anything that we didn't hit on. You were saying something, I heard you during one of the commercial breaks, about medicines or medications. Talk about that, because that's intriguing to me. For the victims?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's really important if you're a victim of sexual assault. You know, we want to screen you for STDs, pregnancy, all of those things. And part of the sexual assault exam is treating patients prophylactically, which just means basically before it happens, for pregnancy. So if a female desires Plan B or Ella, Plan B is very expensive over the counter, and they can get it for free at the hospital or at the clinic. Anything we do is free for them. So we definitely want to try to treat them for pregnancy if they desire that, for STDs if they desire that as well.
Okay.
We also have to be concerned about, during a sexual assault, could you have been exposed to HIV? And that is a whole huge other component to this.
Is that a standard thing that they'll be tested for with their permission?
Yes.
After?
Yes.
And by the way, and it's been a while since I've done a story on it, how long before it would present itself?
So it's about, usually most patients develop symptoms within 3 months. So in the time frame that the patient comes in, if they've been sexually assaulted and the perpetrator had HIV, it wouldn't show up yet. We're just basically getting a baseline HIV test. But the victims can go on HIV prophylaxis, which is a cocktail of medicines for 28 days, which are not a lot of fun to take, in all honesty. But the goal is to prevent them from getting HIV if they were exposed to it.
It's amazing the advances that they have something like that now. It's wonderful, but that's a scary whole other level of you're getting contaminated or exposed to some kind of disease from an attack.
And one of the things that we love at the Sexual Assault Center about the partnership with Metro General is that the nurse practitioner team comes back and provides follow-up care. So if the victim survivor comes into the clinic to get the exam, they're treated by Pam and her team, they can come back to get the follow-up care.
So they can come back to you, Pam, at the
clinic.
At the clinic.
At the clinic. So we have a nurse practitioner who staffs the clinic usually on Wednesdays. She comes in, she reviews all the lab work, all the lab results. We try to bring the victims back to have a sit down with them and go over all their test results and see if they're having any problems. You know, sometimes those medicines are hard to take, so there's some counseling definitely that needs to go on there.
And we've heard from some of the callers about the long-term negative impact of sexual violence. And because of the continuum of care that Pam's team is providing, along with the Sexual Assault Center's advocates and counselors, we can really help work towards addressing the potential of long-term impact by the victim, the patient, coming back to get continued services. And the sooner we do that, the better the chance of those long-term effects.
And the long-term effects would be a wide range. I'm guessing depression,
anxiety. Sometimes it's suicidal ideations, relationship challenges, issues with school, job, intimacy. There's a drug, alcohol, eating disorders. Right.
You name it. Do you find at all that when some of these victims do choose to prosecute and they see it through and the offender held accountable, does that bring any relief?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I would think for some, maybe, you know what, I'm still hurting, and they probably always will. But you think it does?
I do. I think that, there are other ways that people can find relief too. And you mentioned earlier that this is not a crime that goes away. Regardless of the care that Pam and our team provide, it doesn't go away. It's a scar that will be there forever within someone's heart, if nothing else. It's not something that you visibly see. It's not something that you can identify a sexual assault survivor just by looking at them. But it doesn't go away. It does get better. But it gets better when you have the support and the care and the love, compassion, nurturing people around you to help you move forward. And we don't want anybody to go through this alone. Okay.
Well, I God forbid any of our viewers ever have need of your services, but if they're watching again, so if someone is assaulted, and it's the next morning, and okay, they heard about Safe Clinic. All right, is there a number they call? Or, I mean, at that point, someone right now just watching this for the first time is like, well, okay, what do I do? And you get referrals, but if someone's watching and knows about it, do they call the clinic? Do they just show up? And where is the clinic again? I know we said Metro Center, but specifically, what do they need to do?
So our address is 101 French Landing Drive. We
That's
are
right over
in
there.
Metro Center, right around the corner, behind the Starbucks and the Lexus dealership.
There's
in
always
Metro
a
Center.
huge line at that darn Starbucks.
There is.
Always.
Okay.
There is. So you can pass the line and come into our parking lot.
Okay, good.
We do have coffee.
Oh, nice.
You can call. The Safe Clinic is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Okay.
So you can call or you can come in. It's always better if you know you're coming to call, because
Is
then
it
we'll
the
be prepared.
258 number? Is it 258?
615-258-5888.
Okay. Oh, and Rick's got a great job. It's on the screen there. So, and again, it's not just service for Davidson County, but Middle Tennessee in general. I think I mentioned, could someone come from East Tennessee? You said Knoxville has some facilities in place.
They do.
That part of the state. And I'm guessing Memphis probably does
Have a
as
big
well.
center.
But is Safe Clinic the only one really of its type in the state, or is it just by itself here in Middle Tennessee?
We are one of 3 standalone sexual assault clinics across the state.
Okay, so there's and geographically east, west, central.
We're
Is
the
that how
only
it is?
nonprofit of our kind, but there's a rape crisis center in Memphis, in
Okay.
Shelby County, and there's a sexual assault center in East Tennessee.
Okay,
Yes.
so there's those there, and they do similar
Similar work.
type
correct.
of thing. Do you think Safe Clinic could expand? Meaning other satellite offices?
It's certainly a national best practice, and we do hope to see more clinics like this pop up.
Was the
Yes.
idea of, for Safe Clinic, I guess you talked at the beginning of the show how it came about, which how it's needed, but are there other Safe Clinics similar, like that you copied from other states?
Right. Yes, there aren't many,
Okay,
but there are a few, and we did a lot of research and a lot of collaboration with similar cities of our size to see what
Oh.
works well.
Yeah.
Austin, Texas is the best example.
Is that, I was going to ask you where. Yeah. all right.
Austin did this a couple years before we did. They developed a standalone Safe Clinic, and we attempted to learn from their mistakes, learn from the things they did great and the things that they did well, and they were so helpful in helping us get where we are today. One of the things that they found that we are now seeing is that after the creation of a standalone clinic, the number of exams do increase in the city, and it doesn't mean that
That
rape
works.
is happening more often. It means that people are coming forward more readily, sometimes simply because we're having these conversations
Yeah,
now,
and
people
that may
know
be a more
about it.
comfortable place to go to. That's not as intimidating as you're right. A hospital emergency room can be, whew, you know.
And I want to say too, I want to jump in there, but there is somebody at the Safe Clinic 24 hours a day.
Okay.
So if it's 2 in the morning and you're like, oh, nobody's going to be there, there's a live person there 24 hours a day. So we have security there
Yeah,
overnight.
there's security, you said. Someone there 24/7. Has it?
24/7.
Just we mentioned it's nonprofit, and
Correct.
as it is. So how do people support it?
Great question. We could not function without the support of generous funders, generous donors. We get a lot of grants from the state, from our community, United
Okay.
Way, but we are always in need of monetary donations.
There can be private donors that
Private
write you a
donors,
check.
Exactly.
Are there
Of
ever
any
any?
size.
It's money, I know, is what it is. Is there anything else you ever need that can be
We
donated?
do, especially with the Safe Clinic. We have a wish list of items
Oh,
that
okay.
if people are so inclined to get involved and to support us in this way, we want to make sure that every person who comes into our clinic, if Pam's team needs to take their clothes as part of the evidence collection, we want to make sure that we have clothes available to give them when they leave.
That's
They-
right. We mentioned when you have that assault, God forbid, you don't want to change and you don't want to shower. If you're going
Right.
to collect it, you go in as is. And I know that's hard, but do that. And you take the clothes. So donations of clothing.
We only accept new clothing though,
Okay,
because it's
okay.
really important with the clinic, the medical facility, that everything
Nice. And
is
that's
new.
good. So donation of new clothing for men
And it
or
just-
women. You see men and women,
T-shirts
correct?
and leggings. It's simple T-shirts and leggings,
Oh, okay.
flip-flops, things
Yeah.
like that. But we also find it really helpful to offer snacks to the people who come in. So donations of non-perishable items like
Like
packaged peanut butter crackers.
Little Debbie
or-
cakes? I like Little Debbie cakes.
They probably have a
think we
very
have
close
those.
expiration date, but
We'll just have to eat them fast. No, but snacks donated so that when they're there, they can have something to eat
Exactly.
and drink or whatever along those lines,
Right.
sodas and the like. Okay, so yeah, people can do. Do you have a website as well?
We do. www.sacenter.org
Okay.
is our website. There's
Okay.
also that's for the Sexual Assault Center. There's a Safe Clinic website as well. If you navigate our website, you can find it. But the Safe Clinic's website is safeclinic.org.
Okay, awesome.
I think that's right.
And when I come back and we wrap it, I'm going to wrap this up now, this segment, but we'll put the phone number back up again for Safe Clinic. But Pam, thank you so much for coming on. Rachel, thank you for coming on and talking about this. We'll do it again. Just let us know. I think it's great that you guys are in town. And hopefully, I didn't know a whole lot about it because you're so new. I mean, I understood what it probably was. So let's just get the word out
Yes,
as best we
exactly.
can. All right. You guys keep doing a great job because I know working this can be depressing as well, but also seeing you're helping people.
There's a lot of hope.
That's the
There's a lot of hope.
That's what I like.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this gives people. Thanks again, both of you, for coming on.
Thank you.
Just great,
Thank
just
you.
great. We'll be back with a programming note, and I'll make sure to put the number up for Safe Clinic for yourself, or if you want to share it with someone, it's a number worth having. We'll be right back.